After sitting down and soaking up 118 hours of SpongeBob SquarePants, it's safe to say that things are not looking good for Sheldon J. Plankton. He might be small, but boy are his crimes massive.
Wonderful.
Well, you won't be laughing for long, Plankton, because that changes today. As I'll be ranking the microscopic maniac's crimes from just a bit of nautical nonsense to the downright diabolical. So first up on Plankton's rap sheet is probably the crime he commits the most: trespassing. The evil invertebrate is no stranger to going where he's not supposed to, and his favorite place to trespass is at the finest eating establishment ever established for eating, the Krusty Krab. Like the time he disguised himself as the ketchup bottle to smuggle himself inside.
You're all mine, you sweet Krabby Patty.
Or when he donned a dollar bill to try and fool old money-mad crabs.
Aha!
Plankton! You knew I would never distrust a dollar!
That's right, Krabs. Now hand over the secret Krabby Patty formula.
What?
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
But it's not just the Krusty Krab which Plankton likes to sneak into. Remember when he literally breaks into SpongeBob's house and hides in his bed? Plankton here is a serious trespassing reoffender and can easily expect 12 months behind bars with a $2,500 fine as a kicker. But like death and taxes, if there's one thing you can be sure of, Plankton won't be going anywhere. Plankton sure knows how to keep that one eye of his busy, alright. His next crime on this list is none other than illegal surveillance, and to be fair, it's not like he even tries to hide it.
I like money!
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money!
But he's no stranger to being a bit more discreet, like the time he was spying on SpongeBob and Mr. K whilst they talked about what else but Krabby Patties.
Now what are they saying, Karen? Karen?
I have no idea.
What? I thought you said you could read lips.
I can, but you took my telescope away.
Hey, I never said he was good at it, but this is just the light stuff, really, compared to the episode Enemy in Law, where Plankton trades his obsession with Mr. Krabs for Mrs. Krabs.
Such beauty. She's an angel and no wires. I've never felt like this before. I don't even know her name, and yet she's stolen my heart.
First of all, let's get the fact that he's illegally spying on an elderly lady out of the way. You realize canonically Plankton's like 76, which is the same age as Mr. Krabs. So how old is his mom? Like 111? I mean, I guess everyone has a type, but... Anyway, he sends her a gift and has the courage to finally give her a call.
Did you enjoy the gift I sent you?
How did you know I wanted a hat?
Have you been spying on me?
It was just a lucky guess.
Whoa, hold on a second, Plankton. That's gone from a little love obsession to full-on stalking. He's gone into her home, installed cameras, bugged her phones, planted microphones, but when Mrs. Krabs turns him down, once again Plankton's true colors shine.
I don't want to hear your lies. You owe me for leading me on like this. Give me the Krabby Patty formula and we'll call it even.
The formula? Is that what this whole thing was about?
No, not really. I mean, not at first. I mean, the honey bunch? Uh-oh. Oh, well, 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all!
Who knew Grandma could still go? Plankton's punishment doesn't end there, though, as he's a serial offender when it comes to illegal surveillance. From your general spying to stalking old Mama Krabs, he can easily expect to be in prison for a good 2 years. That'll teach him to be a peeping Plankton. Maybe. When Plankton on the Krusty Crew, he spends his time trying to get his own restaurant up and running. And in the episode Walking Small, Plankton has a plan to supersize the chum bucket.
You have exactly 17 minutes to haul your carcasses off of the future site of the Chum Bucket Mega Bucket.
But there's a big problem for little Plankton. The beach is full of fish that are 100 times bigger than him. So if he's going to flatten the Goo Lagoon, he's gonna need some help.
But it's becoming increasingly obvious. I can deny it no longer. I need someone big to clear the beach for me. I need...
SpongeBob? How's he gonna convince SpongeBob to help him destroy a beautiful beach? I mean, does this look like the type of guy that would agree to that? Well, when Plankton sees SpongeBob getting pushed out of the way when trying to get an ice cream cone, he uses that to his advantage by luring the unsuspecting sponge in with some frozen treats and a few crocodile tears.
Plankton, what are you doing here?
I'm crying because I've got these 2 ice cream cones, but I only need 1.
So now with SpongeBob firmly in the lion's den, Plankton manipulates him, saying that if he was just a little more assertive, he could get anything he wants. But I think he's more interested in ice cream.
SpongeBob. SpongeBob. SpongeBob!
Yeah?
With his cone finished, SpongeBob needs to run a few tests if he's going to be assertive enough to wipe out a whole beach for Plankton. And after failing his first one, Plankton shows him how to really be assertive.
Great! Now let him have it!
You can have it. Say thanks.
No! I'll show you how. Yeah, you, slither over here. Surrender that ice cream cone, or every waking moment for you will become a swirling torrent of pain and misery.
Oh, poor guy. But how will he spin making people cry to the golden-hearted sponge?
That guy was crying.
Those were tears of joy. He was happy that you were assertive.
Bro, that's low even for you, Plankton. So you're gonna try and bulldoze a beach with the help of someone who wouldn't hurt a fly by making him think that being mean to people is a nice thing? I can take him stealing formulas, but this is just messed up. I don't even know how this would go. I don't even know what SpongeBob would look like.
Tell that guy you know karate and you'll tie him in a knot if you don't get your metal detector back.
I'm gonna tie your shoe if you don't give that back.
But I'm wearing sandals.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, that went about as well as you'd expect. But when Plankton dials up the emotional manipulation, SpongeBob actually starts doing what the mini mastermind wanted all along.
You're just like stairs.
Wait, Plankton, give me another chance.
Look at all those beach hogs soaking up your sun rays. Do you have what it takes to get a tan?
Man, this thing is sandy.
So with the main beach cleared out, SpongeBob sets his sights on the hot dog stand. Plankton's villainy begins to infect SpongeBob, and he starts to become totally manic. I tried to say manic and bananas at the same time and came up with manic. He's totally manic with evil power.
Look at all those kite flyers blocking your view. Hey, SpongeBob, throw us the ball.
Now with the coast literally clear, Plankton goes ahead with building his chum bucket mega bucket, and SpongeBob finds out the truth behind his plans.
You used me for land development.
Haven't you figured it out, SpongeBob? Nice guys finish last. Only aggressive people conquer the world.
Now with the knowledge of Plankton's big, mean plan, SpongeBob sets out to undo all the bad that he's done and attract beachgoers back to Goo Lagoon.
Wait! SpongeBob! Stop! What are you doing?
SpongeBob's kindness stomps all over Plankton's schemes, bringing a stampede of people back with them. Plankton better watch out.
Get back! Wait!
Well, being stepped on is the least of Plankton's worries, as this is an open and shut case of coercion, and manipulating an innocent soul only makes things 10 times worse. Although not a lot of damage was caused, Plankton would be easily looking at 18 months inside with a $15,000 fine for any damage to the beach as well as any damages to beachgoers. Maybe you'll learn to be kinder next time. We all know Plankton wants to damage Mr. Krabs' legacy, but what about when his harebrained schemes cause real damage? Like in the episode Plankton, where he takes control of SpongeBob's mind and starts causing chaos.
I have you now.
Time for a well-balanced breakfast. This isn't what I had in mind.
I guess it's only a refrigerator. I'm sure Amazon can sort that out in no time.
I guess I'm not using the door.
door either.
Okay, so he smashed through SpongeBob's wall and left a gaping hole. That's gonna be costly. But at least he's out in the open. There's no more damage to be done.
SpongeBob, what are you doing? I'm talking to you. SpongeBob, are you mad?
You're making me look as smart as Patrick here, Plankton. Actually, speaking of him. Plankton's path of destruction leads to where else but the Krusty Krab. Let's hope he remembers to use the front door this time.
How about a little takeout?
No, never!
Well, that was always gonna be wishful thinking now, wasn't it? So with SpongeBob's Pineapple Palace, both Squidward and Patrick's homes, and the Krusty Krab effectively becoming Swiss cheese, Plankton would be given a vandalism charge, where he'd get 6 months behind bars and a $5,000 fine for every property defaced. So this little spree will cost him 2 years and $20K. Stealing is Plankton's favorite pastime, whether it's candy from babies or secret formulas. But what about the time Plankton stole someone's identity? Well, that brings us to the episode Imitation Crabs, and things are going as they usually do for old Plankton. Bad.
I went to college!
Along with the rest of his dignity, Plankton loses his marbles and figures out that if he can't sneak past Mr. Krabs, why not become Mr. Krabs?
2 boxes of bun, 3 pounds of patty.
Mr. Squidward, I am Krabs.
Your boss, your ruler, your master.
There's only one problem, though. The real Mr. Krabs is shuffling around the restaurant, and if Plankton's replica is spotted at the same time as the real one, his cover will be obviously blown.
You're so cold.
That's just my metal suit. I made it to protect the formula. SpongeBob! SpongeBob! Look, a jellyfish.
I got it!
So what sort of high-tech, super sophisticated plan has Plankton got to get rid of Krabs? Let's see. Maybe a shrink ray, an explosive that turns him invisible or something? Come on, Plankton, what do you got?
Crabs popping in and out like that. I've got it. I've been saving this for a rainy day. That fool Krabs is too greedy to ignore you, my little pretty.
Okay, I get it. Less is more. Not as cool as an invisible explosive, but whatever.
Stop! Please!
Actually, that worked way better than I initially thought. Now with Krabs out of the way, Plankton is free to try and get SpongeBob to squeal and give him the precious patty formula. But if Plankton thinks it'll be easy, then he's in for a rough time. Actually, he's just in for a rough time either way.
Done the secret handshake yet? We stand on one foot, balance a glass of chocolate milk on our heads, and sing the Bikini Bottom national anthem. Bikini Bottom, we love you.
Formula time.
Almost.
Like a really rough time.
Ball, meatball, spaghetti underneath.
Ravioli, Great Barrier Reef. Now let's hear that formula.
Sorry, no can do, Mr. Krabs.
So after all that, SpongeBob still won't spill. I guess as the old sea saying goes, loose lips sink ships.
Followed all the rules. Now why can't you tell me the formula?
It's your rule.
But Plankton's luck is about to change, as SpongeBob tells him that the secret formula can't be spoken, and it's hidden away in a jar that SpongeBob has conveniently on his person. So this is it. All the work, all the sacrifice, all the risk is about to pay off for Plankton. Wait, is it the sound of honey?
How could you do this, SpongeBob? Giving me secret formula to this imposter!
Well, the jig's up, Plankton. You've been caught red-handed. Surprisingly, he actually manages to manipulate SpongeBob into thinking that the real Krabs is the fake one, but it's somehow defeated by the same thing that he used to lure Krabs away in the first place.
Yoink.
This must be your lucky day.
You got that right. This silly scheme wouldn't be taken lightly if it was performed in the real world. Identity theft is a super serious crime. Plankton would be lucky if he got away with anything less than 5 years in prison. But the biggest hit by far would be to his bank account. You're looking at fines that start at $75,000. But in Plankton's case, he'd only need to pay $74,999.99. See, I knew that penny would come in handy. When all you live for is the downfall of your archenemy, you'll do anything to see them fail. Like in the episode Crabs vs. Plankton, where Plankton has a deliciously deceitful plan for finally snatching the formula when he slips on an unmarked wet patch on the Krusty Krab floor.
Can't feel my arms and legs. I think they're broken.
Oh, that looks bad.
Uh-oh.
Poor little man.
That's right, forget your patties, jellyfish, and canned bread. We're heading to court.
I'll give you one last chance. I'll drop the charges if you give me the formula. Never, you little whelp!
He's got Krabs right where he wants him, hasn't he? The money-mad restaurant mogul injures innocent small business owner. Oh, I can see the headlines now.
I didn't lay a claw on him.
Ow! My other arm!
He's lying.
Krabs' attorney needs to get him on a tighter leash, or this case could be over before it started. Wait, who is Krabs' attorney?
Here I am.
Thank you for joining us, Mr.
SpongeBob Lawyer Pants, Your Honor.
SpongeBob Lawyer Pants. More like Lazy Bob Name Pants. My name's aside, what does SpongeBob know about the law? What's he gonna do to stop Plankton from destroying the Krusty Empire? Especially when he's one hell of an actor.
I was a vibrant, carefree, happy-go-lucky single cell.
Guys, I think Krabs is at fault here.
Can you identify this item?
It's a wet floor sign. No, you don't understand.
He's framed this case perfectly. He's got the judge and jury on his side, while Mr. K is left out to dry. He's left with the executioner, or in this case, SpongeBob, because he's killing him in the courtroom.
If he were as cheap as the prosecution claims he is, would he be able to sit there quietly while I took out $1 and dropped it in the blender?
Okay, that one's totally on Eugene. Anyway, after exhausting all options, SpongeBob decides to call their final witness to the stand, Plankton.
Why did you go into the Krusty Krab that day?
To, say hello to my once good friend, Mr. Krabs.
Are you sure it wasn't to make off with one of these? Gotcha. Weren't you there to steal the formula of the most delicious, sweet-smelling sandwich known to Bikini Bottom?
Not even Plankton's genius can withstand the allure of a Krabby Patty as victim mask slips and his true colors show.
Finally, it's mine.
I'll take that.
Huh? No.
And with that, the jury finds Mr. Krabs not guilty and everything is as it once was. But this won't be the last time Plankton's in the courtroom, as this is nothing short of civil fraud. So for trying to take away someone's livelihood with lies, Plankton would be facing 3 years in prison with a fine that would match the yearly turnover of the Krusty Krab plus legal fees, which comes out at a whopping $350,000. Brother, Mr. Krabs is like mega rich and he still doesn't pay his workers fairly. Maybe he's the real villain. Maybe you should check out the Mr. Krabs video. Now, believe it or not, Plankton is no stranger to being behind bars, like in the episode Jailbreak, where he's serving a stretch for some madcap master plan.
Bikini Bottom Prison, home of the worst of the worst. And currently of that little miscreant, Plankton, otherwise known as number 655321.
Adjusting to his new surroundings is easy for Plankton when he realizes he's seen as a god by the inmates, and a new master plan starts to bubble away in his tiny evil mind.
Kid, you're criminal royalty. Every crime you commit is more dangerous than the last.
You're the worst guy in this joint, and that means you're the greatest in our twisted eyes.
We'd do anything for you, big guy.
With this pack of criminals, I can steal the secret formula like that.
I guess leopards never change their spots. Well, to get his band of criminal brothers to infiltrate the Krusty Krab, Plankton has one small hurdle to jump over. They're kind of in prison. So I wonder what their big idea is.
We need to bust out of this joint. Any thoughts?
We could wait for parole.
We could ask them nicely.
Yeah, I can see why you're still in jail. Think, people! We need a plan.
We could bust out of here in no time. If only we had some chum.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
Yeah, good old chum. Say what now?
How the hell is Chum gonna help them escape?
Oh, it's working!
It's twisting my appearance!
What a hideous monster! Please take this money so I don't have to look at your disgusting features! Hey, come on, no need for Squidward to catch a stray. But it actually seems like Chum is pretty useful if you got a criminal mind.
It's time for a jailbreak!
So Plankton puts together a huge batch of Chum and with it overpowers the prison guards, leaving the pack of criminals free to make their way to the Krusty K.
Quickly, my fellow felons, follow me to the Krusty Krab!
In exchange for their freedom, the villains rally around Plankton to try to break into the restaurant to get their hero's prize.
They got past me! The restaurant!
Now there's nothing stopping him from taking the formula once and for all.
Crabs, nothing can stop me now. Except the law. What's happening?
SpongeBob warned me you were planning a jailbreak, so I took the precaution of hiding the entire Bikini Bottom police force in me safe.
Come along, Plankton. It's back to jail for you.
Well, that was handy. A whole police force hiding in a safe. Well then, can't say I expected that. All right, guys, wrap it up. Pick it up next week. At least Plankton's plan was foiled, and with the boys in blue being at the scene of the crime, we went out to wonder if Plankton will ever face the music for these crimes. Plankton's jailbreak was not a clean one, with serious damage caused to not only the jail, but to the Krusty Krab as well. Whatever term Plankton was serving in the first place would be easily extended by a further 7 years, with an eye-watering $125,000 fine for damages. If you can't do the time, Plankton, don't do the crime. The crumbs are coming up thick and fast for Plankton, and so far the malicious microbe has racked up 21 years and 6 months on his charge sheet with a huge set of fines worth $587,500. But trust me, this is nothing compared to what's coming up. These next set of crimes cement Plankton as one of the most vile cartoon villains of all time. As we already know, if you look up the word theft in the dictionary, sitting right next to it would be a picture of Sheldon J. Plankton. His entire existence is about stealing from his business rival, but with one little caveat, he's usually awful at it.
To all of Bikini Bottom, the Krabby Patty.
Okay, give it to me. Come on, SpongeBob. Stop it!
I swear I'm not doing anything. Mr. Krabs, the Krabby Patty is haunted!
Now, over the years, he's gotten a little more advanced in his technique, so maybe that'll help him finally snatch the formula from under Mr. Krabs' nose.
You're on your own, pal. Hurry, Patrick. Put Mr. Krabs' dollar back on the wall. I've got an idea.
What the?
We're all done, sir. Everything looks great.
Yeah, you don't have to look around. We already did that for you.
You both look like you got a dirty little secret. Ha! I'm kidding. Let's see how you did.
Some of you at home might be thinking he needs magic or something to get his hands on a Krabby Patty. Well, believe it or not, the dude's tried that too.
I'll need a volunteer from the audience.
Your act's over, Bub.
Spending all that time in the chum bucket practicing magic only for him to fail and blow himself up in a room full of people, I'm actually starting to feel bad for the little guy. But then I remember the time he literally stole SpongeBob's brain, and that flies out the window.
Yes, that's grand. And now for my very elaborate and college-educated plan. Now it's time for a little wakey-uppy.
But this is a double bang for your stealing buck, as he controls SpongeBob's stolen mind to steal a Krabby Patty. But first, he has a little something to say to Squidward.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
You pretentious little insignificant artist. Your sniveling creations are worth less than a protozoan's waste.
Geez, tell him how you really feel. With the patty now stolen, he pilots SpongeBob back to the chum bucket to try and extract the formula.
Don't remind me. Brace yourself, SpongeBob. This is my lab. And this is
my laboratory! And did I ever show you my record player?
No one likes to show off Plankton, but SpongeBob has an idea to get the patty out of Plankton's paws by talking about it, essentially.
But worst of all, I let you down, you delicate little Krabby Patty. With your tasty, juicy, scrumptious, warm, steamy goodness, I'll never forget your 100% all-secret patty, secretly assembled with undersea cheese, pickle, lettuce, tomato, onion, all secretly steaming between two fluffy seaweed seed buns.
All this steamy patty talk is too much for Plankton to bear, and he releases SpongeBob and jumps out of his head and into the analyzer.
Oh boy.
Plankton, 1% evil, 99% hot gas.
From all the stuff I've seen from him, I'd say that he got those figures way wrong. But one thing's for sure, he is a full-blown kleptomaniac, which is the pretentious way of saying he is obsessed with stealing. Obviously, most episodes he's in, there's some big plot to steal something or snatch something from someone else. Thanks, Plankton. But you won't be so upbeat when you hear your charges. Technically, he has a very low success rate in the theft department, so he'll only be charged to the full extent when it comes to SpongeBob's brain, and for that, also all other attempts accounted for, Plankton can, at minimum, expect 11 years in the slammer with a $45,000 fine. Because, you know, Krabby Patties ain't cheap.
$101 for a Krabby Patty?
With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese.
Plankton's downtime when he's not trying to rule the 7 seas or destroy the Krusty Krab, he likes to let bygones be bygones and play cards with the old crab, like in the episode Welcome to the Chum Bucket. But the losing streak of a lifetime for the tiny tyrant comes to an end in a big way, and Mr. Krabs loses something he really can't afford.
I lost.
Barnacles, Mr. Krabs. How much money did you lose?
I didn't lose any money. I lost.
Mr. Krabs, please tell me you didn't lose the Krabby Patty secret formula.
I bet your contract. And I lost.
Way to go, Eugene! You've just lost the biggest jewel in the Krusty Krab crown to your biggest rival. But hey, maybe working in the Chum Bucket won't be so bad.
And as your new boss, I command you to make me a patty this instant, or I'll be forced to remove your brain and implant it in my robot chef. So get cooking.
I know Plankton's evil and all that, but I wasn't expecting things to get that dark. Usually SpongeBob has to deal with dollar paychecks and unlimited overtime, not this. And I think the little guy is taking it hard.
It's just a greasy spoon.
Just a greasy spoon.
What is he doing?
Plankton figures that his cold, hard, threatening approach might be just a bit too much for SpongeBob, so he decides to go a little softer to see if that'll get the patty sizzling.
Please don't take my brain out.
Hold it, SpongeBob. I'm capable of compassion and understanding. Now, what can I do to make you more comfortable here at the Chum Bucket?
Well, I usually cook on a grill.
Well, it wasn't easy, but here it is. How about we try it out?
Plankton's plan backfires, though, as SpongeBob's demands start to get out of hand.
Is there anything that old skinflint Krabs wouldn't let you have?
Wow!
So now do you have everything you need to make some Krabby Patties? You ready to make some patties? How about those patties? And then the littlest sea elf said... Huh?
With having everything a fry cook could ever want, surely he's ready to whip up a couple of patties.
Why don't you ask me later?
I command you to make me a patty this instant!
No!
Don't backsass me! Lost your brain privileges!
Cooking some burgers in exchange for keeping my brain. You know, I really don't know what I would have picked. Sorry, was that too sarcastic? Anyway, Plankton forcefully removes SpongeBob's brain and plants it in his own robot, but Plankton fails to remember that it's the same brain from the same spoiled sponge.
You see, I always get what I want, and I want you to make me a Krabby Patty!
Response, why don't you ask me later?
Wait! I command you make me a Krabby Patty!
I don't wanna.
Plankton puts SpongeBob's brain back in his body and sends him back into the Krusty Krab, but if you think that makes things right, Plankton, you are wrong, my tiny friend. For threatening SpongeBob with the removal of his brain and then actually doing it, he'd be facing a double charge of extortion and aggravated assault. So yeah, he'd be put away for a long time, not seeing the light of day for 16 years at least. I wonder if the prison cafeteria has a formula he could steal. Probably not one he'd want to. Plankton's crime so far pale in comparison to what he does in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. After a record year for Mr. Krabs, he decides to rub his success in Plankton's face by opening a second restaurant, and I don't think the guy's taking it too well.
It's not fair! Krabs is being interviewed by Perch Perkins, and I've never even had one customer!
Okay, buddy, calm down. You're gonna blow a gasket. But this extreme frustration fuels something within Plankton as he looks over all of his failed evil schemes and finds that there's one fresh, forgotten plan left. Plan Z.
See, here it is! Just like you said!
Oh, boy.
Oh! It's evil. It's diabolical. It's lemon-scented. This Plan Z can't possibly fail!
So with his new lemon-scented scheme, Plankton sets out to get even with Mr. Krabs once and for all. But first, he has to take a little detour to steal King Neptune's crown.
Someone has stolen the royal crown! I got it!
So what could Plankton want with the royal crown? Well, no one knows who stole it, so I wonder if there's a certain crustaceous cheapskate he could frame.
I seek the one known as Eugene Krabs. May he present himself to me at once.
I'm Eugene Krabs, your highness. Would you like to order something?
Nay! I'm on to you, Krabs! You have stolen the royal crown you cannot deny. For clever as you are, you left one damning piece of evidence at the scene of the crime!
I stole your crown, signed Eugene Krabs!
Hey, come on, King Neptune. There's no other evidence but a poorly written note.
But this is crazy! I didn't do it!
Ahoy! This is Eugene Krabs. Leave a message. Hi, Mr. Krabs. This is Clay, the guy you sold Neptune's crown to. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks again for selling me the crown, Neptune's crown. I sold it to a guy in Shell City, and I just wanted to say thanks again for selling me the crown, Neptune's crown.
I always speak too soon. On purpose. Plankton has landed Mr. Krabs in some serious hot water here, and by hot, I mean boiling.
Prepare to burn, Krabs.
Wait, Neptune, please, I'm begging ya! I ain't a crook! Ask anyone, they'll vouch for me!
Luckily, SpongeBob comes in and gives Krabs a lifeline. If he retrieves Neptune's crown from Shell City, Mr. Krabs will be spared. But until then, Neptune freezes his assets.
Until then, the crab shall remain frozen where he now stands.
No, wait, I'm begging ya!
Oh, turn on the AC.
Mr. Krabs! Oh no, this is terrible! Who's gonna sign my paycheck?
Caring as ever, Squiddy. Anyway, this is Plankton's most heinous crime so far by a long shot. And right off the bat, he's looking at a conspiracy to commit murder charge. The planning and framing of Mr. Krabs in the hopes that Neptune would go nuclear and boil him alive is evident for everyone to see. Plankton would easily be looking at 25 years for this, especially factoring in the theft of the crown too. But of course, if you have seen the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, you would know this is not the only crime this dude has done here. The biggest problem Plankton has to deal with is SpongeBob and Patrick, if that has not been evident enough throughout this whole video. If they retrieve the crown from Shell City, Plan Z fails. So, to deal with these two thorns in his side, Plankton calls in an old friend.
He's a vicious, cold-blooded predator!
So clearly, planning to kill Mr. Krabs wasn't enough for him, but is Dennis as deadly as they say?
What are you gonna do to us?
Plankton was very specific.
Plankton?
For some reason, he wanted me to step on you. Step on us? Yeah, that way you'll never find out that he stole the crown.
Oh, he's deadly, all right. And a blabbermouth! Also, how sick is Plankton specifically telling Dennis to step on them to death? Like, really? I know he's been trampled on all of his life, but this is some sick, twisted stuff.
That's a big boot. Don't worry. This'll only hurt a lot.
But no matter how big the boot, there is always someone bigger than you.
Bigger boot!
Wait, Pat! This bigger boot saved our lives.
Yay!
Thank you, stranger. Stranger?
Oh, wow, that's a big boot. And thanks to this big-footed sea walker, SpongeBob and Patrick managed to get to Shell City without being pulverized by Dennis. But on their way back to Bikini Bottom aboard SS David Hasselhoff, don't ask, the boys are in for quite the shock.
But how? Wow! Dennis!
Did you miss me?
Okay, so you know when I asked before if this guy was deadly? He's literally stolen the boot of a giant after being crushed so that he could chase down his targets. That is dedication. I need someone like that in my life. But it's not good enough because SpongeBob has a soapy solution to the Dennis problem, accidentally.
My eyes! I got you, SpongeBob!
Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.
That's it! I'm through messing around! See you later, fools! See ya!
So, you think I'm stalling?
If things had gone perfectly for Plankton there, he'd be staring down a stretch for first-degree murder. But because of the hiccups along the way and the fact that SpongeBob and Pat remain standing, he'd likely get a solicitation of murder charge, which would score him at least 30 years in the clink. But we're not done yet. He has done another thing in the movie. It don't stop there. See, there's a big part of Plan Z that I have not mentioned yet, that he has not put into action yet. He's gotten rid of all of his rivals. He's dealing with SpongeBob and Patrick. How does he get customers? Well, certainly not the right way.
Perch Perkins here with an incredible news flash. Plankton is selling Krabby Patties at the Chum Bucket. How is this possible? Let's find out.
So with crabs frozen, he finally steals the formula. But just being a business success wasn't Plankton's goal, oh no. And Squidward, of all people, starts to notice.
You're selling Krabby Patties, eh, Plankton?
That's right, Squidward. And there's a free bucket helmet with every purchase. Care for one?
No! You may have hoodwinked everyone else in this backwater town, but you can't fool me. I listen to public radio.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Public radio! Ha! Take that, Plankster! Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
You stole the crown so Neptune would freeze him and you could finally get your stubby little paws on the Krabby Patty formula. It was you all along. But you made one fatal mistake. You messed with my paycheck. And I'm gonna report you to the highest authority in the land, King Neptune.
We'll see about that, Inspector Loose Lips.
Whoa, okay, Detective Squiddy, I see you. Maybe you should be doing my job instead. But he made one fatal mistake. He told Plankton his plan. So now the tiny tyrant kicks Plan Z into maximum overdrive.
Now activating helmet brain control devices.
What? What's going on here?
So Plan Z was never about stealing the formula. It was about total world domination. Plankton has brainwashed the entirety of Bikini Bottom into being his slaves. And I mean everyone.
No resting! This monument celebrating my glory isn't gonna build itself! Move faster!
Oh my gosh! Patrick, look! Plankton's turned everyone we know into slaves! Squidward, Sandy, Mrs. Puff, even Gary.
Meow, Plankton, no! Poor thing! After seeing their friends being controlled by Plankton, SpongeBob and Patrick brave the elements to find Neptune's crown and bring it on home. But even then, Plankton does not want to play fair.
Daddy, no!
Daddy, yes! All hail Plankton!
SpongeBob, what happened?
Plankton cheated.
But there's one way to defeat him. SpongeBob, realizing who he is not just a kid. He's not a villain. He's not even a hero. He's a goofy goober. With the power of pure rock and shredding his goof-tastic guitar, SpongeBob begins to set the people of Bikini Bottom free in the most epic climax to a children's movie I have ever seen in my entire child life.
My precious helmet! His chops are too righteous! The helmets can't handle this level of rock and roll! Carrot, do something!
Sensing Plan Z is about to go up in smoke, Plankton tries to make a break for it, but his escape is squashed along with him.
Come on, you guys knew that, didn't you? With the helmets and the big monuments. Wasn't that hilarious, everybody? I will destroy all of you! Well, Mindy, I have to admit, you were right.
Neptune's got his crown back, Mr. Krabs restored to room temperature, and Plankton, well, this one's gonna put him away for a very long time. Enslaving a whole town? Takes guts, kid. I mean, man, you're old. 500 people under the control of one tiny dictator? You're easily looking at 20 years per person, so that is at least 10,000 years in the criminal institute. For the damage to Bikini Bottom, he'd also be on the end of an insane $5 million fine. Hey guys, it's not cheap enslaving a town and converting it into your own image. I would know.
Well, this stinks.
So with everything in this video taken into account, Plankton would be a very fortunate protozoa to escape these crimes with anything less than 10,101 years behind bars and an astronomical amount of fines valued at $5,632,000. I mean, what else did you expect from literally one of the most evil villains of all cartoon time? But he's not the only one. And there are worse out there. So go on, click the video on screen now to see another character getting everything that's coming to them.